At least 4 states have been experiencing extreme weather and heavy rain, and there's more to come for parts of South Australia, Victoria and southwest New South Wales. Let's get some more details on that from the Bureau of Meteorology, Senior Meteorologist Angus Hines. Angus, great to have you with us. Take us through the current weather warnings around the country, and particularly that system that's impacting parts of Central Australia, South Australia and some other states.
Absolutely, yeah, good afternoon. So we're seeing this widespread rainfall associated with a tropical low pressure area over Central Australia. It's a very unusual weather system, bringing rain that we typically only see in the far north up in the tropics and pulling that over central and soon to be southern parts of the country. So we've had several days worth of rain already across southern and eastern parts of the territory and the far west of Queensland, and we have still got severe weather warnings in place for those areas for further heavy rainfall as we move through the night tonight and into the weekend. So rain there is going to be falling on already wet landscape, already swollen rivers, and it's going to prolong the ongoing flood situation out over Australia's outback. As we head into the weekend, the weather system is going to move southwards, and that means really from tomorrow onwards, South Australia is going to be the focal point for significant upcoming rainfall, and there's a really large heavy rainfall warning in place across a big part of the state. Heavy rain in the coming 24 hours, Friday night into Saturday morning, expected to fall across parts of the northwest, the west coast and the Eyre Peninsula. Many areas there could see 30 to 60 millimetres of rain. Then the second half of the weekend, as we move into Sunday, that rain is expected to spread across central, eastern and southeastern parts of the state. So a very wet Sunday in store for Adelaide, the Mount Lofty Ranges, the Yorke Peninsula, moving through the Murraylands, the Riverlands and southeastern parts of the state as well. It's very likely that over the weekend we'll see weather warnings spread to include some of those areas as this extensive rain moves across the state in the next 2 to 3 days. It will also impact parts of far western Victoria and far western New South Wales, where we'll see significant rain and honestly pretty welcome rain for some of these areas that have got some pretty long-term rainfall deficiencies.
And Angus, Northern Australia also expecting to see more rain in coming days.
Yes, certainly. This weekend we anticipate an increase in the monsoon winds over Northern Australia. So that's the far north of Queensland, the top end of the Northern Territory and the north of Western Australia. So that will bring cloudy skies, increased wind and more extensive showers and thunderstorms through the course of the weekend across those northern areas. For now, that's pretty typical of Australia's wet season, nothing too unusual. However, if we cast our gaze a little further afield out towards the second half of next week, we're looking at a couple of tropical low pressure areas which could develop near northern coastlines of Australia. There's a few regions of risk, including the Coral Sea, the Gulf of Carpentaria and the warm waters north of the Pilbara, as where we could see as many as 3 tropical lows near our coastline by about this time next week. It's a bit early to lock in the details for when and where those could impact, but residents across northern Australia should stay up to date with their forecasts for the second half of next week, as we could see some of these systems getting close to or onto the country, bringing significant rain as well as the potential for flooding and damage.
Just finally, Angus, New South Wales and Sydney's really copped a drenching. What's expected over the weekend?
Sydney did really cop a drenching overnight last night. As much as 100 millimetres fell in parts of the city, and anytime we get 100 millimetres in less than 24 hours in an urban centre, and in this case a lot of it fell within about 4 or 5 hours, that's enough to lead to flooding. And it wasn't a surprise to see the flash flooding overnight last night in Sydney, flood rescues and water into streets, properties, houses as well. Now fortunately through today the rainfall has eased off around the Sydney area. We've only seen another 2 to 10 millimetres in Sydney today after that wet weather last night. Heading into the weekend, we'll continue to see bits and pieces of wet weather, but much lighter and much less frequent than what we saw yesterday and through the night. We might see another 2 to 5 millimetres tomorrow and something similar on Sunday, but there'll be long gaps of dry weather in there, and that rain shouldn't have anywhere near as much of an impact as what we saw yesterday.
Senior Meteorologist at the BOM, Angus Hines, thanks very much for talking to us.